We apologize for any mispronunciations of any words that may occur during this presentation. It is not meant to disrespect anyone. AI has a problem with saying words like Tūhoe. (1895). Rua, aged 25, emerged from among the Ringatū, the followers of Te Kooti. In claiming to be the son of Te Kooti, Rua divided the Ringatū world irrevocably. His greatest support came from his mother's tribe, Tūhoe. Rua's statement that he was the successor to Te Kooti was first announced through an experience that he underwent on Maungapōhatu, the sacred mountain of Tūhoe. 12th April, the sacred day of the month for Ringatū, he reiterated his own prophecy that on 25th June he would ascend the throne, and the king will arrive at Turanga Gisborne. 1907, the prophet and community leader Rua Kēnana had attracted 600 followers to Maungapōhatu. 1910, Rua sold 40,000 acres, 16,000 hosen HI of Tūhoe land for $31,000, equivalent to nearly $5 million in 2011. 1913, Rua's community had declined from 500-600 people to about 30 families. May 29, 1915, Prophet Rua convicted 3 months on sly grog selling. January 1916, Rua failed to appear before a magistrate. 2nd April 1916, arrest of Rua Kēnana. Rua was arrested at Maungapōhatu by an armed force of 57 constables sent secretly from Auckland and 2 smaller contingents from Gisborne and Wakatane. He was seized on the marae, where he was standing unarmed, accompanied by Watu and Toko, waiting to greet the police. In accordance with Maori custom, Rua expected the police commissioner to come onto his marae with 1 or 2 officers for a formal korero, while the rest of the police party waited to join them. However, Cullen rode his horse onto the marae with dozens of armed constables close behind. Rua called out, "Hei Piera, he kino, they have guns, that's evil," and, with his 2 sons, turned and ran, pursued by police who threw him to the ground. A gunshot rang out across the marae. Who fired and from which direction has never been established, but the shot signaled the start of a general gun battle. When the firing died down, Rua's son Toko and his uncle Te Maipi lay dead. Many other Maori and 4 policemen were wounded. 2nd April 1916, arrest of Rua Kēnana. Legally, Rua's arrest was an assault, as it had taken place on a Sunday for a minor offence. Cullen, as commander, was guilty of the use of excessive force. At least one of the Gisborne policemen, Arnold Butterworth, thought that not only was Rua's arrest illegal, but that Cullen would be guilty of 11 charges from murder or manslaughter down to common assault. 3rd August 1916, Court Kēnana Rua and others were arrested on charges ranging from resisting arrest to treason and taken to Auckland for trial. Rua was sentenced to 12 months hard labour, followed by 18 months imprisonment. The Maungapōhatu community never recovered. April 1918. Rua returned to his community after serving a total of 18 months in Empt Eden prison. He was rumoured to have made a deal with the government to drop his opposition to conscription in return for an early release, and indeed now encouraged his people to enlist for the war. About 50 of his followers did so. 1922, Tūhoe exchanged 40,000 acres, 16,000 ahaj of land for a government promise to build roads connecting the settlement with the Eastern Bay of Plenty and Rotorua. The roads were never built. 1930, most of the people had left. 1937, Rua died 20th of February 1937. He was described as being 68 years of age. Married to 12 wives, he left 5 wives and 22 children. He had predicted that he would rise on the 3rd day. When the appointed time had passed, his coffin was sealed in a concrete vault, which he had ordered to be built beside his home. In 2017, history was made, and an agreement with the Crown was signed finally recognizing the wrongful arrest of the Tūhoe prophet. The government accepted that police actions in 1916 were and continue to be a source of deep pain, causing economic, social and spiritual damage to many of the wānau here. Now that bill is before Parliament, and during its first reading, Maori Development Minister Nanaia Mahuta broke down in tears. 2017, 70 years after Rua death crown apology and a declaration to restore the character, mana and reputation of Rua Kēnana, his descendants and followers of the Iharaira faith have been finally done. Could you imagine how our world would be different if we listened to the prophet Rua Kēnana and followed what he wanted all of us to do? There is one law for both peoples.
Rua left his mark on this world.